Have you ever wondered why some people always seem calm, composed, and confident, and no matter what life throws at them, they have this ability to maintain that peaceful inner state? And on the other side, you have people who are the complete opposite. They're always living in fear, in doubt, in anxiety. They seem to be trapped in the past or stress about the future, but they're rarely at peace in the present moment, which is at the end of the day all you have. So what is the difference between those two type of people? One type of people who always operate from a state of confidence and calm and peace, and on the other side you have people constantly experiencing stress, worry, and doubt. And the answer lies in a stoic principle I had to learn over the last years, and it completely changed my interpretation of different life events. So, what I'm gonna do with you is on this call, on this video, I'm gonna take you inside of my coaching call I had with some of my clients where I'm breaking down this powerful concept and more importantly, how you can apply it in your day to day life. And once you're gonna start viewing life from this lens, you're gonna start responding instead of reacting and experiencing less fear, less anxiety, less doubt, and you're gonna start cultivating a deep sense of peace and confidence. So make sure you stay focused during this video. Have a notebook, have a pen, take a lot of notes, come with an open mindset. You're gonna learn a lot of great things, and more importantly, enjoy the video. Jump straight into it. Can you see my screen?
Yeah,
Not yet. It says it started sharing. Okay, now I can see it. Yeah.
same here.
Okay, perfect. There's one quote I love actually, and I it took some time to understand this, but if you dive deeper and you think about it, it's actually true. It's a quote from Seneca. He said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Just take a moment to process this quote and reread it again. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. It's a quote from Seneca. If you don't know what Seneca is, a very uh, ancient Greek philosopher, one of the founder of Stoicism, alongside Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius, right? So those were the wise person in the past, and their philosophy still carry on today. Just let me. So, suffering more in imagination than in reality. That's basically a way, for the way I understand it, is your head, your mind, more in particular, we always play trick on you. Like, how many of you guys,
Yeah.
like, are just like doing something right now, but the only thing, like, you can think about is, oh, well, what you have to do, like, tomorrow. What if this, like, goes wrong? Well, oh, I did these things wrong, like, in the past. It's like your thoughts are just dispatched all over the place, and you end up starting like a cycle of spiraling down in your thoughts, and your mind start projecting different outcomes in your head, and you start playing movies like in the cinema. Like, who can
Mhm.
relate to that?
Yeah, I can for sure every
Yeah,
day.
especially
Oh,
like
1000%.
exactly, especially like at work, right? uh you you might have like an employee sending you like an email, and sometimes like just before you check the email, you start playing the movie of the email. It's like just by reading some letters, hey boss, I need to talk to you. And for example, your mind, for example, Diego, you boss because you manager, right? I might work more like in sales independent, but sometimes you get a message, hey, I need to talk to you, and you start projecting like a movie of, oh, maybe she want to resign, maybe like there's a bad news, oh, maybe it's maybe that, just like different
Hmm.
outcomes,
Oh yeah.
projecting in the future, right? Or that can just be relevant to anything in your life, right? But every time like there's a thought or like you think about something, you always have your mind projecting movies. based on probably experiences you had from the past, right? So if you get used to something and you think about certain thing in that same area, naturally
Hmm.
your mind will use those experiences and those memories and project and anticipate outcome or what seems like what will seem obvious, right? But at the end of the day, it's all imagination. It's just like your mind playing a movie on you, right? That's why it's called imagination. When you watch like movies, science fiction, it's imagination, right?
Yeah.
It's not real. It's just like in your head, right? So basically, it's a presentation. It's a mental framework for improving your confidence and just living more at peace, right? And the fear of failure and the negativity it feeds. Because at the end of the day, if you project events in the future and you start like getting worried, like and anxious, it just always gonna come down that you are afraid of losing something or like missing out on something, right? That is the main concept, right? So
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be this way because it's most of the time it's never this way. Like most of the time, the movie you start playing in your head, it's never the movie that actually play in reality. And that's when I realize that okay, like the mind is fucked up, the mind playing tricks on you. But problem is we get conscious of that, but we let ourselves being slaved of your imagination, basically. That's like it's never the reality, but you always believe it's gonna be the reality, and you start having those fears, those doubts, and whatever negative emotion you can think about. Okay, so that just says that your stress is not even from reality itself. Like think about it, like stress. What is stress? It's like let's say like you stress like at work. Why you stress at work? Okay, maybe you feel like you're not gonna deliver this project on time. Okay, so you projecting a future of you not delivering the project on time that raise anxiety, that raise like you're gonna fail like the project, and those it's mostly a projection of events that triggers like the stress, right? Or like we're gonna use like an example. Let's say like you want to go and talk like to a woman, for example, right? Or like it even happens to me sometimes. I see like a girl, I want to talk to her, but I feel like petrified in my head because I don't even say hello first, and my mind is like playing a movie of no. I start like getting anxious. Why is that? Is because technically I have this fear of being rejected,
Yeah.
right? Or like sometimes who want to show up like online on social media, or like speak something like in public, but you don't do it because you project that people are going to critique you, to judge you, right? See how it all like connects. Or maybe like you wanna start like a project, you're gonna maybe want to leave like your job, but you don't do it because you start projecting the idea in the future that you're gonna fail. So there is this fear of failure, there is this uncertainty that is stop you, and that creates the fear, the anxiety, and again the stress. But none of that is technically reality because they all projections if you really think about it. I want you to think about like the thing like you that like afraiding you at the moment, like so something like you feel afraid of doing, you want to do but you feel afraid, and ask yourself, is it real? It's like we suffer more from what might happen, not from what's happening. Like in your head it's all about like movies, it's like projection of what can happen, not what is happening right now, because at this exact moment, exact moment, there is technically nothing happening because it's the now, it's like fraction of second, there is no fear at the moment. Like You get the point. And the problem, like, we fear, we have, like, this fear is like you always want to control, like, things that you cannot even control. Like that is the one thing. It's like you want to do something, and then you start thinking about what other people will say, what's gonna happen, like, next if you do this. This lack of clarity create uncertainty, create, like, anxiety. But it's like almost you want to manipulate all of the steps from what you have to do now till what's gonna happen next. How people are going to judge you, or the outcome specifically you're gonna get. It's like you're gonna have, like, this clear idea, first of all. It's like you want to know what's gonna happen first for you to have this guarantee of walking, like, the path. And you start to think basically about all of the things that you cannot control, right? You have, like, this fear because you care about what people will think. You have this fear, maybe you care, okay, is what you're gonna do is going to work or not, right? Maybe you start, like, dwelling on the past, having regrets, like, of previous action, right? None of that is in your control, actually, right? So as long as you keep controlling what is never in your control, that's exactly what triggers anxiety and negativity you create. I want you to think about it, like, what were times this week where you felt like experiencing negative emotions, and try to understand what is the cause, right?
Mhm.
Basic example, like, I can give. That's like maybe I send, like, a DM to a guy and he didn't reply, right? Someone who shows, like, interest for coaching, and he's not replying. Well, guess what? Start, like, thinking, okay, maybe he's not interested. Maybe, like, my way of doing things is not the best. Maybe, like, I'm wasting my time, like, with this, right? All of unwanted events, I'm start, like, playing in my head, and that's exactly what drains my frequency. Lower my vibration, whatever. Put me in this state of I don't actually want to experience it, right? Just because, like, I'm thinking about potential scenarios that are not even in my control. It's like I send maybe an offer, he didn't reply. It's like, okay, why is not accepting? Why is, like, refusing? None of that is in my control. So the more, like, I put my attention and focus on those things that I have zero power on, I just, like, delegate my feelings. It's like I become almost slave of my feelings because someone else control them. Someone else can manipulate the way I feel because that's what I put my focus on. It's like, no, that's not in my control, but it's you who is going to decide how I'm gonna feel. And the moment, like, you start delegating your feeling to events, circumstances, people, you fucked, right? The more you grasp at the uncontrollable, the more anxiety and negativity you create. Okay. So what is the solution for that? You have to divide things in two categories. And the Stoics call that the dichotomy of control, right? There's only two categories of things. There is what is in your control, what is not in your control. That's it. Simple framework to work with. Something like, happen to you, you can still control your next actions. You can control your efforts, your attitude, the way you get prepared, your response. What you cannot control is the results, timing, luck, the past, and other people's opinion. That is not in your control. That is in your control right now. So, point is, I say you always own the option of having no opinion. There is never any need to get worked up about things you cannot control. These things are not asking to be judged by you. Leave them alone. Marcus Aurelius, right? So you should only put your attention and focus on things you have full control. So next time you feel any form of negative emotion, ask yourself, what is the cause? Is that something real or something like, I'm trying to project? It doesn't mean like, you just want to be living on the sideline, right? That perspective is for you to put your 100% on what you're doing and really like, understand yourself. Did you give your best when you take the action, right? It's like, yes, you want to do like, this project. Yes, you cannot control the result, but you can control like, the way you do things. You can control like, your work ethic. If you need to submit a report, don't just batch something and send it. If you need to do a workout, don't just go in the gym and lift some weights and no, no, no. No, you need to give your best at what you do because that is the one thing is your control. As long as you put 100% in your inputs, when I say your inputs is like things you have full control on, the rest you have to let go, right? And that's why you need to divide things into categories, what you can control and what you cannot control. You cannot control the weather. You cannot control how your boss is going to feel the next day. You cannot control how bad the traffic was, right? So as long as you're gonna keep putting your focus on that, trust me, it's gonna start controlling you. That is the paradox, actually. So you can control on. And every time, like, things are not going your way, use it as a feedback. Okay, what can I do better the next time? Let's say, like, you take, like, happens, like, quite often. Simple example. Let's say you take, like, a new road, okay, and you were supposed to be at a certain time, and then this road had, okay, construction, and you get late. There's no point you starting to get mad at the construction, right? But what you can do next time is maybe check Google Maps in advance and see if the path like was clear. Simple example, right? That's like a feedback. Open like it happens that you just take the same road every single day, and one day like you're like, oh fuck, it's closed, or like or like there's delay, right? Okay, what can you do next time? Even if you take the same, check on Google Maps to see if there is if it's clear, right? If you can take it. Basic example. Or it's like often, like, we go here in Bali, it's sunny every day, and boom, I'm out. Oh, the rain stopped. I can be like, oh, fuck, it's raining. I'm bad luck. And now I'm start feeling all of this negative emotion because of the rain. But maybe I can just check meteo, the weather next time, and see what is the weather. That's preparation. Or like something that happened to me last time is I was recording and I was like, okay, iPhone full storage. I have to redo half an hour video, right? But instead of reacting, I was like, okay, cool, that's okay, that's gone. I cannot control that. What I can do next time? Okay, maybe before filming, I should be checking my iPhone storage. And now that becomes a habit. I always check my iPhone storage before filming a YouTube video to avoid repeating that mistake again, right? So you see, any form of situation that comes, sometimes it's not gonna go the way you want. Let it go. Use it as feedback and be like, okay, what I can do next time. And the more and more, the more you do it, the happier you get. Because now you detach, like, from things you cannot control. I could be dwelling on that video. Oh fuck, that video was good. And now I have like, to redo again. That was a waste of time. Is that serving me if I think this way? No. So I just decide to not think this way because I can what I can control on is me redoing the video right now, right? As long as I focus on fuck the video is gone, that puts me in this state. But if I'm like, okay, that is gone, what I have to do next, the video, that shift my focus. When attention goes, energy flows, right? And now I put all my attitude, I put all my energy into creating another better content, right? So that's how I want you to start like thinking about things. Use it with anything in life, work, relationship, anything like that happened like that feels like random that puts you in the reaction state. Oh fuck, I should have done this. Okay, no, cool. It's okay. Next time, what you can do now. Tomorrow you can ask yourself, okay, fuck it. What I can do now, trust me. Like you're gonna gain this sense of inner peace, or you're not gonna be putting yourself in unwanted feelings that are just like draining you, right? It's fucking useless to feel mad. Fucking useless, like to start like feeling sad and just like being sitting there for 20 minutes thinking about what went wrong instead of asking, okay, what is the next move? So ask one question every time. Is this within your control? If yes, take action. If no, let it go. Just enter. Peace comes from controlling your actions, not your outcomes. Right? You can put it like in practice with your fitness. If you give your best with tracking your diet, give your best with lifting, with hitting your steps, it's always gonna work out, right? But if you don't miss your steps and you go to bed, if you miss your step and you go to bed and you're like, oh fuck, I'm a loser, na 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 na, and you start having all of these negative thought talks, like, okay, cool, let it go. That's the past. What can you do now? Can you go hit your steps, or do you need to take some preventive action for the next day to not repeat this mistake? Okay, fuck, I missed this step because I didn't plan enough time for it. Okay, now I check my calendar. I see where do I need to fit like more time for the step. Boom, you have got the feedback. Now you implement the new action and you repeat again the process. But you need to have this awareness of consciousness of like, if the mistake was done, learn from it. Otherwise, that's being called a fool. And you intentionally put yourself like in this place, right? That's how we learn as human. Like you didn't jump on the bike. You didn't learn the bike by reading a book of how to bike 101, neither watching like 30 YouTube's video before. You jump on the fucking bike, you try, fall down, and you try again, you try again, you try again, till you master the bike. That's how we learn from action and mistake, and we get better and we get better, right? If you fall down on the bike, you're not like, fuck, man, I should have like done this, no, no, no. I don't. It's not for me. Okay, cool, bro. Jump back on the bike. Maybe try a different approach. It's like a video game. Sometimes to kill like the villain, you have to try different times, different angles, right? You get like feedback. You're like, okay, I realize that sometimes he takes uh 1 minute to react to this action. When you play Call of Duty or like MGS, there is this always big guy, but you understand his pattern. Now you become observant and like, okay, cool. I understand that every whenever like he's finished shooting, it takes like 5 seconds to reload, and that's my time I need to attack, right? But the only way you get to this point is by experiencing, trying again, and now you get better. If you play video game, like you know what I mean. But that's how you should have these things. Like if you fail, that is gone. Learn from it and jump back. Keep going, keep going. No need to be like thinking about the future, the past. Only ask yourself what I can do now. And as long as you focus on that, trust me, all of your anxiety and negativity will be gone. And that's it for what I have today.
As you were speaking, a lot of the examples came to mind. So I was already like creating those movies in my head of you talking about creating movies in your head.
Yeah.
And
More.
so yeah, so one of the emails that I woke up to this morning was I was reading some emails from Friday from work, right? And there was a message that came through that said, uh, Diego, the paralegals and I would like to speak to you. Paralegals are three of them plus this individual, so it's four ladies that want to speak to me as soon as possible. So it's like I know what it's about, but I'm already like playing the movies and I'm already playing thinking the worst. But at the same time, it's like just then analyzing and thinking about what you said was I'm just like there could be nothing worse than something that I can't necessarily attempt to solve or find the help to solve it. Nothing can be that worse. I mean, I've gone through COVID as a manager, right? So it's like whatever you throw at me, it's like I'll find a solution or get the help to find a solution, you know?
Yeah,
So just
well,
looking at it in a positive way.
well, exactly. If you can think about what can happen worse, you can also think what can happen best, right? But somehow we just tend to focus on the worst case scenario.
Hmm.
That is not
We always
helping
focus on the
you.
worst.
Yeah, that is not helping you. Now your main like, okay, fuck, I need to know in advance what they want to talk about, so I can I want to feel the relief, like from the outcome, but you cannot control that. And the more like you focus on what you can control, the more you're gonna get worried. You're gonna have like this stress, like coming. Fuck, maybe I need like to text them, or maybe I need to send like long email and have like a certain uh insights. Like, hey, I've been thinking, like, can you share more about me before the meeting? Like, if they say like want to talk to you, okay, cool. What date? What place? And do you need something from me like in advance, right? That's all you can do.
Yeah.
But the moment you start like putting yourself in a state where, fuck, okay, I need to know, man, like, fuck, what is this meeting? That's just gonna put you in a stress mode, and you're gonna start like, panicking, doing reaction. Maybe you're gonna be like, fucking, you're gonna go and have like, some cookies or like, any sweets, like, to feel the relief. But that's unfortunately the pattern most people like, are at. They have like, they trigger stress from work and want it, then they get this anxiety, and then like they seek for a relief. Like that's all America. That's the
Yeah.
whole country of United States. That's how they live. They stress, they have like relief, and they get stress again, and they get relief. And that's
Yeah.
all the
Well,
life.
now my stress reliever is, oh, I was gonna run today 4 miles. Well, let's double that. Let's run 8 miles.
Yeah, but you also like want to be smart and
Ah, of course. You know what I
efficient,
mean.
yeah, with your energy. But that is the whole point. Now the reason you trigger this stress is because you think about tack. You try to create the future in your head, and
Yeah.
when and your brain hates the state of not having answer. That's the human brain. Your mind, your brain doesn't like the fact that he doesn't have the answer, and it's gonna balance that by generating those feelings and you putting you in a very reactive state for you to get the answer. But you're not gonna get them. You cannot manipulate people or anything.
Yeah. That's very helpful. Uh I appreciated this mental lesson this morning
Yeah.
for sure.
But
Because
but you need to
I
ask, yeah.
it's because I don't apply it just to fitness and nutrition and health. It also applies
No,
back to
that's
personal relationships with work, with the kind
yeah.
of work that I do. So yeah, very
But
helpful.
then yeah, then you need to ask yourself, like, what is one tool you can implement in your day-to-day life to have to develop this ability to pause and reflect? Because another framework will be helpful if you don't build the awareness of you to be like, okay, pause. I'm thinking this way, I need to change. That's another game. And the only way I realize for me to build this awareness is through meditation. Like meditation have been like a massive cheat code lately. because it's not just like okay, you close your eyes, but you you're gonna train your mind to actually catch some thoughts and change it. The first day you're gonna try meditation, trust me, you're gonna have a thought, it's gonna enter, it's gonna play the movie, and you're gonna be like, fuck, I cannot calm my mind. The goal of meditation is not to calm your mind, is to be observant of your thoughts. That is a clear distinction. Like, it's even the monks. You know how many thoughts we have like per day? Anyone can guess? 80,000.
Yeah, let's see.
80,000 thoughts. Good luck trying to catch all of them.
Yeah.
Good luck trying to catch all of them. That is the goal of meditation. You're gonna close your eyes. That's what's gonna happen. Take a deep breath, and then you're gonna have an influx of thoughts coming to you. It's like they're waiting for you, right? And then you're gonna have like this thought, like at the center, okay, and you're gonna start catching, okay, fuck, uh, I need to send an email to my assistant. Okay, I need to write this email. Okay, I need to send this email like by 10. And you're gonna start having these thoughts playing a movie in your head, and you're gonna be stuck in the thoughts. But what you have to do is catch yourself. That is the goal of meditation. You need to feel like, okay, this is a thought about email for work. Now, go away. And the thought will go away. Then you're gonna have another thought coming from out of nowhere. It's gonna be like, oh fuck, I have an appointment by dentist, like at 4 p.m. I need to leave work by 3. No, 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 pause. This is me thinking about my dentist. Go away. And you're gonna have another thoughts coming, and you do the same process over and over. And at some point, you're gonna gain like a state full of clarity. Gonna have like this mental peace. Think about like traffic. It's like you have this intense traffic, and eventually the traffic becomes like just 3 cars. That's the whole point of. But what's gonna happen if in traffic you start like looking at every car and try to catch them? Bro, good luck. You just need to see what's in front of you, let it go. That is the whole point. Imagine like this. It's like there's cars driving everywhere, but you don't try to catch one. You just like observe them passing. The moment you start yourself catching one, you're like, okay, shift by to focus. And sometimes in meditation, the best way to recenter yourself is by refocusing on your breath. That's where I learned, that's where I realized the most powerful. So just stay present in your breath. If your thoughts come, if you see yourself like letting the thoughts enter your mind and start like playing a movie, catch yourself, pause. What's gonna build? It's like a muscle. You need to practice it. You don't grow your bicep after one session. Don't be like, okay, fuck, it's not for me, it's too heavy. No, you need to practice. It's a practice. It takes time, but what's gonna happen is you're gonna build awareness. And awareness is the ability to just be aware, be present. So whenever you have this feeling of anxiety, it's because of a thought you're projecting everywhere. But with awareness that you build through meditation, you have, okay, fuck. No, I'm thinking about this way, or I'm about to react this way. Let me pause and change my response. That is what if you imagine that now there's like a habitual way of thinking and doing things in your mind. It's like stored, right? Because you do it over and over, so now it's stored. It's like a habit. It's like brushing your teeth. So now maybe like you used to be in traffic. Every time there's traffic, you start like horning and you start screaming. No, that's a pattern. There's like the trigger, and then there is the reaction, which is you going monkey. But with awareness, you're gonna be like, okay, there's traffic now. No, 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 I'm not gonna do this thing this time. I'm gonna pause and just take up. That's what awareness is gonna build. So imagine there is like event A, action A. That is your habitual way of doing things. But and the action A is basically like a reaction, but you want to transform it into a response. So what we need now is a certain time between the events and the action. This time is created through awareness. You pause. You pause before you act. Observe people around you. They don't pause before they act. It's like it's very reactive. Trust me. Observe people
Mhm.
around you like they're very reactive. Every time something happens, specifically happen to them, they react in the same way.
Yeah, it's very
Observe your
true.
coworkers. Observe your coworkers. Observe like your family, right? Sometimes they say things they don't want to say, but because like they listen to some things in particular and they react in a particular way because it's become habitual, and they don't know how to change that because they don't become aware.